Welcome to ZBTR TV. The goal is to unearth and document the Zambian narrative in the best way possible.
Catch us live every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube.
We broadcast every Saturday at 10 a.m. EST, 7 a.m. PT.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
Be part of our journey. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
The ZBTR TV show.
Did you know? Less than 10% of our viewers are subscribed. Don't miss out. Be part of the community. Mark your calendars. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flow live.
Welcome to the show.
Hello. Within 1 hour in Zambia, they will close the polls. The people have been voting. And some places, Muhambi, it looks like some places it's great turnout. Some places,
there's good turnout, long lines. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm just waiting for the final votes. So it's exciting. Someone who observes politics, it's always exciting election day is always exciting for people who like politics.
Election day. Well, that's Sunday. According to ECZ, the results will be, the final results will be out on Sunday, and we're exciting. We are excited. We're looking forward. The best part is that it's been a peaceful day, according to the reports that we are receiving.
Yep.
And everybody, thanks for joining us. Tell a friend. ZBTR election report is here. My guys are here. Joseph, Simon
has entered,
and Simon just entered. And hey, Joseph, where are you?
Yes.
So as we were waiting for my guys, the panel, to join us, they all voted and they're doing some amazing stuff. We do appreciate them. And the idea for, hey, how are you?
Hey, there the folks are.
Simon, where are you?
Hello, and I don't know whether it's evening or afternoon.
Yeah, you're audible. We can hear
That's
you.
from my we had quite long queues, and everybody else just wanted to have an opportunity to cast their vote. So this is when I've just done so.
Okay. How long did you wait in the line? Simon, how long were you in the line? You can't hear me.
No, I don't think so.
Simon, we can't hear you.
Am I audible? So what I'm trying to say is that I arrived around, I started off around 6 and I arrived around 7:42, somewhere there. And I found that the queue was already very long. So I had to wait until I had my opportunity, which is about an hour ago. And until I finally casted my vote. But I've left other people still queuing up. But the good part is that people have already left the site. The long queues are already done, and people are basically just inside, just casting their vote. I think that's just a fight. Maybe perhaps we'll still have others stations that declare closed.
All right, excellent. do this, Joseph. Find some place where you can, rather Simon, find a place where you can sit. I don't know whether you are driving or not. Sit in your car and then log back in, because we need to ask you some questions.
Okay, so let me just find a place where I'll settle, then I'll join in later.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that brief start-off report. Yeah. Mohambi.
Yeah, it's busy. It's it's a busy day. We had some of our panelists who were supposed to come, but it's understandable given the nature of the day, that it is election day, and we're grateful that we have some on the ground reporting. Again, as you said, the lines are long, which is always a good thing, and that shows that people are involved. I was watching one of the news reports. I don't remember the exact percentage, but I know that in some of the larger cities, a lot of youth have been voting. And I think that's a good thing. It shows that people are engaged. I know a lot of Zambians have been waiting for this day, and it's finally here. And so I think this election, I think it's too early to to tell if this will be a change election or a wave election. I think we'll have to wait for the final results. But I think the one thing we know is that I think the margin of victory, I think it's too early to tell, but I think I told you privately, and I think I said this yesterday, I just want to see the margin of victory. I will say this publicly, I think the president is likely to win the election. Of course, you never know. Politics is an exciting game. Of course, 10 years ago, people said that Hillary Clinton would be president, and look who's president of the United States.
I know.
But I just think it's the margin of victory. I'm curious to see how the UPND performs in some of these larger constituencies. Is it a margin bigger than it was in 2021?
Because actually, to your point, the competition. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph. The competition is actually in what do you call it? In the urban areas, in my view. If you are going to assess the election, the competition is in the urban. Hi, Joseph. How are you? Joseph is having
I don't know if I'm audible.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Joseph, can you hear me?
No, I'm still experiencing. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How are you doing today? All right. I was saying that in the urban areas, that's where the competition is going to be. In my view, the outskirts areas of what we may call rural areas, in my view, I'd say they are set. Those that support, that were on Mr. Mundubile's side are going to vote that way in the rural areas. And the competition is in the rural areas. And you see, here's something that I keep referring to and talking about. Okay, let me show you something here. People don't seem to be paying attention to this. Okay, look at this. I keep talking about this. You see that? Yep. There are more registered voters in rural areas than there are in urban areas. And the percentage is quite something. You're talking about 3.56 million voters to 5.23. That's quite a huge margin, Joseph. That's quite a huge margin right there. And so we need to pay attention to those things. How was your day? Did you vote? Where did you vote?
No, my day was okay. At Chilanga, North
Okay, I guess the network today is quite busy, and I'm sure it's understandable. It's overwhelmed or it's overloaded.
Yeah. I think one of the questions I was going to ask, and this was going to be in the full panel, I was going to ask them, what does this turnout tell us about the health of Zambian democracy? I sort of said this before in the introduction. I think it bodes well for the health of any democracy to see turnout as high. Now, obviously, we'll have to get the numbers later. Once all the dust has settled, we'll have to see if this turnout compared to turnout in 2021. But and as Simon sent videos, and there have been videos all over social media. Long lines tell us that people are engaged. People are engaged civically, and I think that is a good thing. I haven't seen. I know there's been rumors of, tampering and stuff like that. But I think as far as, and I'm grateful that ECZ has very clearly and forthrightly sort of put out any statements debunking them. Of course, the criticisms of the electoral process, but at least from my vantage point, observing via social media and talking to people, turnout is good. And of course, Joseph would probably know better. And I haven't seen any evidence of any
violence, any people doing crazy stuff. Yeah. Joseph, share some thoughts.
All right. So, basically, what I can say is that the elections today, the voting day today was actually peaceful. To my side, when I went for a vote, when I went to Chilanga constituency, like back home, basically, it was a very peaceful environment. And to my surprise, I never saw any cadres. There were no cadres around.
That's good.
Everyone just went to attend. They just went to go, to head out to their polling stations to actually vote in peace. So I would say myself, that's actually peaceful. I'm really surprised on how peaceful these elections are. But though there's some certain areas that are experiencing some delays when it comes to voting, like let's take it for instance in Matero constituency, if I'm not mistaken, there's a particular area where they went to attend this community school where the polling station is, and people were standing outside the gate for a very, very long time. They were only allowed to enter the gate like around 10 hours, which raised a lot of concerns, like what's the delay and all that stuff. So people got frustrated and all that stuff in a sense whereby, some unrest began to erupt in that particular area. But moreover, they conducted they settled the unrests quickly, and the frustrated voters were attended to, and they had to come up with a way to ensure that each and every voter cast their votes.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Because I know there was somebody somewhere else, I think, was it in Chingola, where somebody sent me a message that the polling station opened late. I think it must have opened like around 7 or 7:30 instead of 6 a.m. Those things always happen in every election. Okay, let's do this. Let's share some. Let me see here. We have some video clips which I would like us to look at and just see what is happening. Okay, let's look at this. This
is fantastic. Where does this line go? Where does this line go? Yes, yes. Where does this line end? Yeah. This is fantastic. Where does this line go? Fantastic. Kawata for you, Kawata Community Hall. The queue goes up to Dr. Agri. This
All right, that's a video clip that was sent, like you heard the gentleman say. That was at Kawata Community Hall. All right, and that was the turnout there. How long did it take you to vote, Joseph? He's frozen. Joseph, how long did it take you to vote?
It was quite some time. I would say 5 hours. Yeah, it was 5 hours.
Okay.
I think I was in line number what? Yeah, it was like 5 hours. So I was in line number 58. So
when
yeah, it took
what do you mean when you say you're in line number 58?
So the thing is that the voting area, the voting station, had a different classroom where people would actually vote. So I was like, maybe just say, okay, I only say I was in line 58, but I was like the 58th person in the line. You get? Yeah.
But
so
why did it take you 5 hours?
So the reason why it took 5 hours, a very good majority of those who are actually voting were, had to take their time to cast their votes because some of them were unable to read. We had old senior citizens participating in the voting process as well. So the electoral officers were actually helping them on, helping them on how to vote and all of that process. And there are also those who are illiterate. They were unable to read or write or to, able to understand how the voting process is. So that's why it took like 5 hours.
Okay.
For me to actually cast my vote. Yeah.
Oh, all right. But otherwise, when you got into the polling booth, tell us about the actual experience, like how clear for a person like you who can read and write, who doesn't need help from a polling officer, how clear are the instructions or the process?
So I would say the instruction of the process was actually very, very clear. The good part is that there are some polling stations that have got interpretations of, they'll interpret the electoral process in another language, most commonly Chinyanja, Chivemba, in other languages, Chitonga as well, so that people are able to understand the process. So it was a very clear process, but to some, they were still, finding it very difficult to actually comprehend how the electoral process is, being that some of them is their first time. But a good majority of them actually had experience on voting. So it was very easier for them to understand the process and everything. But, I would say the electoral process was very clear and straightforward. And I loved the part where they actually had to interpret the electoral process in other languages because not everyone would understand English. So they had to put it in Chinyanja, Chiremba, Chitonga, Kikaonde, for those who, are not very much familiar with those other languages. Yeah. That's my view on how they to my view, it was very clear. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Prince.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. So tell us about your experience for the day. Where did you vote?
Yeah. Sorry for joining very late.
Don't worry about it.
Just
I know
came back from
it's
voting.
election day, my brother. It's election day. So tell us about your experience. Where did you vote? And how was the crowd where you voted?
No, I actually did it from Kapuliomba Primary School, which is under Munali constituency.
Okay.
And yeah, the turnout was massive. People here are eager to vote. And if you're a person who is actually heading to town from my place, you wouldn't even find a bus because most bus drivers were actually lining up to vote. And it was really a very great turnout from our end.
Okay. How long did it take you to vote? How long did you get there? And what time did you exactly vote? How long did it take?
So for here, those people who are going early morning, like my parents who went early morning because of work, they spend quite a long time because most people knew saying early morning I want to then come out as quick as possible and vote. For me, I just went somewhere at 13. Then I was done by 15. There, I was already done. There was a queue, but still, it was a very good process.
That was quite efficient, Muhambi. Going in at 13 and at 15, you are done. Compared to
Joseph's, quite efficient.
Compared to Joseph's experience of 5 hours. Okay.
Yeah, that is quite efficient.
Muhambi, any questions for these guys?
I had a thought maybe you would come back to vote also.
We were working on that. We have a lot of our friends who are, you know what we are trying to do? We are trying to fight so that we start voting from here. Namibia does it, Sierra Leone does it, the Kenyans do it. They vote outside of Kenya, they do. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, just after the 2021 elections, it was one of the things they were working on. They didn't come through with it to get the diaspora to start getting to vote. Okay, Muhambi, you have any questions for these guys?
Well, no, I was just going to add, in fact, Americans do it as well. You're able to vote. Americans abroad are able to participate in, federal elections. So if you live in, Zambia, you're able to vote for, if you're an American citizen or you're a dual citizen, you're able to vote for, the United States president. You'd probably have to go to the embassy and cast your vote. So I just wanted to add that. So maybe in a few years' time, we'll be able to participate at least from the diaspora. I guess a question I had, and this is, for anybody, but I guess Brother Prince, you can answer this question. At least from your experience, what does the turnout tell you about, the health of Zambian democracy as you've been observing?
I have sort of these from my side, but I can hardly get you, Mr. Muhammad.
I was just going to say, from your vantage point.
Try to increase your volume, Prince. We also can't hear you very clearly. Is there anything you can do to... Okay, we're having a lot of network issues here. I don't know. I guess it could be the day in Zambia. The Zikta is overwhelmed, or what is happening.
Assuming it's because of election day. I'm assuming it's because of election day.
Yeah,
that the network.
The whole world is on Zambia, and
The whole world is watching, and it seems like the network can't um, can't handle it. I guess sort of something I want to bring up is now polls I think will be closing at least in an hour. Zambia
No,
time, I think they close
in
around
35 minutes. In 35 minutes.
Oh, wow!
Yeah,
35 minutes. Okay,
minutes.
close.
Yeah. It's
And
17. It's
here comes
17:25 in the. Ask Joseph the question you asked to Prince.
Sure. I was just going to ask you, Mr. President, you waited in a long line along the line where I think you said you waited 5 hours, I think, to vote. What do you think that says about the health of Zambian democracy? Or what do you think it tells you about this election?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I said, what do you
You're
think
breaking a
the
bit.
long lines tell you about What do you think the long lines tell you about this current election? Do you think there's a lot of enthusiasm? Do you think that there's a lot of, people are engaged? Long lines are always a good thing. So what do you think it tells you about how this election might go?
All right. So, like, the good part is that a lot of people turned out for voting. So, I would say it's a positive sign that democracy is still alive in Zambia. In fact, I believe democracy in Zambia for quite some time. So, basically, what I would say is that, yeah, it's a pretty good sign that a lot of people are coming to participate in the voting process, being that we're a democratic nation. People, it's good again that we're experiencing the sign that people are able to understand that they got the right to vote and to practice democracy. So I would say it's a pretty good sign here in Zambia. Even if you try to compare with other countries, you will see that even the turnout of voting to be pretty low. But here we're having a high turnout of voters. So yeah, I was
Okay.
enough.
That's good.
Prince, you want to respond to the same question?
Would you repeat it, please?
Sure. What do you think the turnout tells you about this election? Are people engaged? Turnout's always a good thing. So what do you think it tells you about this election?
Okay. I really think for this one, the turnout has been really good. Looking at my social media, of course, most people are aware of it, and people have actually respected these elections and have put a lot. Most of my friends are actually like on the spearheading team of the monitoring team of the elections, and most of them are youths, and that's a good part. And they are
That's good.
saying that it's a really good turnout in terms of the youth, because most of them are eager to vote. They are eager, they want to experience the first time, but still would see what's happening. Of course, media will still be the trend where some people would actually go and start voting and actually record some videos of how they are voting, which is not supposed to be the case. But
Yeah.
still, people are actually doing that. But that
I've seen
the
that.
turnout is really good, and people are exercising their right to vote as it is each one's responsibility, and it's really good that they have to do it because it comes every 5 years. So the turnout has been magnificent, and although there's rumor saying that some other towns delayed to start, that's yet to be verified. That some other towns delayed to start by 10 a.m. They were not started yet.
Oh wow!
And so we just hope for the best for them. Thank you.
Do you think there's a lot of energy among young voters? I know in 2021 a lot of young voters were excited about the prospect of change. Do you sense that talking to your friends, talking to people, a lot of young people that you work with? Do you think that there's that sort of urgency among us young people?
Yeah, for most young people, especially below the age of 21, um, one funny thing that's really surprising me is most of them didn't even take time to read the manifesto, but
Finished.
they have gone to vote. So
Wow.
that's the question that was sticking to my mind. Say, are you going to
Oh
vote for
Lord.
a personality now? And with
Yeah.
rumor that saying that some people are just voting for songs, and that's really sad. But for the young people, it's a marvelous experience for them being first time voters, and it's really something that they looked forward to. And I know some wouldn't even sleep. They would wake up twice before the morning just to be eager, saying, "Okay, I'm going to vote. Is this really happening?" And for from their side of view, um, because they are the majority, just according to what records are saying, that more than 4 million of the voters are between 18 to 35 years.
Yep.
Oh
So
wow.
we hope
Yep.
they've
Say
they've
the
done
age. Say
what
the
they
age group
think.
again. 4 million are what?
18, 18 to
18.
35.
Uh,
Wow.
4,066,000 are young people aged between 18 to 35.
Oh
The
wow.
Yep.
registered voters.
That is usually, I think that's
Yeah,
how
so
most global institutions classify youth.
definitely.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that I think that is very interesting. Now, I know a lot of folks have. I like what you said. A lot of people didn't really read the manifesto, which that's how we as young people are. At least most of us, I can say.
So,
Probably.
Prince, if they didn't, according to your assertion, if they didn't read the manifesto, how do you think they are voting? What is the driving? What are they basing their choice of a candidate on? Is frozen.
So according to me, they are voting on based on personality. If they didn't.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's they're voting on
Now,
personality.
now, when he says personality, obviously he will come back. What do you think it means? What does that imply?
I mean, they're voting on the person they seem to sort of jive with. They seem to
To
identify
like.
with. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I
okay.
think I sort of there was a video I was watching TikTok and it was they were analyzing. It was actually a youth journalist. She was analyzing the opposition president's BBC, interview, and there are a lot of young people that saying, "Oh no, we don't want him. Please, young people, make sure you vote because we don't trust some of us. We like Bali." So I think it's who you're, who you like, and I think that's you see that a lot in politics. A lot of
So
people.
it's got nothing to do with the policy, the
No,
vision,
I
the
think if you were to
personas.
ask most, and there are young people that are informed. I think of course, we've seen that here on the show yesterday and today that these guys, are informed, so they know why they're voting. But I think if you were to ask, obviously people like some of my, cousins, I don't think that they would, and that's not a knock at them. It's just the way it is. I don't think they're voting on who has a better, I don't know, infrastructure plan. It's who you like, the best, and hoping that they'll be able to provide, some sort of, peace or in your life. But on the flip side, there have been people, and there are young people that have graduated 5 years ago who are still looking for, economic prospects. So you have young people that they may like the president because the music and the dancing, and he's pretty cool. But also you have young folks who are feeling the pinch, who have they've attained degrees, but they haven't found, jobs. And that's what we talked about yesterday. So I think you're going to see definitely as the results, come out, and people have already been saying that, a lot of people that are voting for economics, a lot of people are, struggling, and people have already been saying that, a criticism of the president, and we talked about this yesterday, is that his government, they have failed to do a balancing act. Yes, you can mention all the accomplishments, debt restructuring, CDF, investments in infrastructure, obviously free education. But if you also have to acknowledge that people are feeling, frustration. And I think that's something Simon said it yesterday. They suffer from communication comatose.
Yeah, that is it. And you see, that's why yesterday, I remember I emphasized and I beat the drum, tried to push the question to say which candidate communicated their vision and their agenda. And for me, I'll tell you what, I'll give both candidates on communication 40%. I'll be very honest with you. I'll give both candidates 40%. You guys, you seem to be having network problems. I want to show you something. Tell me if you're able to see this. We are switching gears here. Joseph, everybody, do you see this?
Yeah.
Tell me if you're able to see this. You see that?
Yeah.
Prince, Joseph, are you able to see that?
I myself am able to see it.
Okay. You recognize what this is about, right?
Yeah, I've seen this one circulating in social media, but I didn't pay much attention to it.
Okay. It says these leaders have been abducted by unknown criminals. That's what it says. Okay. It says these leaders have been abducted by, we are switching gears here, by unknown criminals. Now, one of those people, let me see. I want the two of you to, Prince, did you see that?
No.
Let me show it again. Okay. Look at it again. Are you able to see that?
My network is very bad.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now I want to show you what one of the people appearing in that video clip, in that picture.
Okay. I've seen it now.
You've seen it now.
They apprehended.
Okay. Now listen to this. I want you to listen to this video clip. Listen to this.
The story going around that I have been a victim of a kidnap, and so have been my colleagues. I just want to correct the impression. We have not been kidnapped.
Did you hear that?
My network is really
Joseph,
bad.
did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear some. He was mentioning about the 7 million kwacha that was actually being taken by debt, if I'm not mistaken.
He says, we were not abducted or kidnapped. I want you to comment on that. What was going on there? He says they were not abducted. There's a feedback. Somebody has got something playing in the background. Is that you need to turn off whatever is playing in the background? Joseph, you wanna comment on that?
Yeah, I want to comment on that one. So basically, I don't think, because these days people would actually spread some false information, Like, I'll give it a very good example. There's this rumor that was spreading. I know the government will actually shut down the network in Zambia. So let's get ready and start using VPNs. So I don't think I would say it was actually true, being that he said himself that he was not actually abducted or kidnapped by any criminals. I think people should avoid spreading false information to mislead the public, because false information misleads a lot of people, especially on the part where they mentioned on the VPN part. The colleague who even had to download the VPN app so that he would get prepared for the network to be shut down and all that stuff. All right. So I feel like the public is being misled with a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people would actually take or utilize AI to spread a lot of false information. They'll be like, no, this thing is leaked whatsoever, you know. So there's a lot of false information going on in our country. And I feel like that's what the government is also trying to fight against that, because I believe that's the reason why they enacted such cyber laws, so that people shouldn't spread a lot of false information, right? That's my comment on that.
In your
I feel like,
opinion, Joseph, do you think how much influence do you think false information has had on this election? It's just your personal opinion.
A lot. Like there's a lot of false information, like a lot of false information. It has influenced the way the elections are, and because of that, a lot of people would, because of false information, people would like, would actually go against the government, right? Or rather, not vote for the UPNG, right? I wouldn't point out that the Tonse are spreading false information, but I feel like the people that are surrounding the Tonse Alliance are the ones to be blamed, right? Especially as youth, because as the youths, we know how to utilize such information. We can just twist it up a bit and spicing it up and say, oh, let's publish this content. And then we begin to spread the false information and all that stuff so that people can watch. Like, I'll go back to the example. For the VPN, it was trending in TikTok and Facebook, right? It was trending in TikTok and Facebook. So there's this video that I came across in TikTok. There's this guy who was like, he's a youth. He was like, no, the government are planning to shut down they're planning to shut down the internet. They're planning to, close all of the networks, Samtel, Airtel, MTN, you name them, all of the networks across Zambia, so that people do not have access to the internet and shouldn't, have valid information about what's going on the polls, right? So, because of that, it has influenced the way the elections are. A lot of people would download VPNs. They would download VPNs. They would encourage their fellow colleagues. Oh, this is what the government is doing, and all of that stuff. They're trying to use what they so called the Tanzanian formula, like what happened in Tanzania, right? Yeah. So, that information has influenced a lot of Zambians to actually take part in that activity of downloading VPN, so that they shouldn't lose track of what's going on in the elections, right? I even came across the post just recently. President Hakainde Hichilema even posted something that, oh, how are the VPN providers there? So
I saw that.
You saw that, right? So it was.
Yeah, I did.
It now shows that a lot of people are using false information to actually bring down the government, right? Of which I feel like that's unfair. Even if they would, because I only point out that the opposition are actually spreading that false information, right? I would actually put it that the opposition, they would receive that false information and take it like it's actual information, like the one that happened for the Bilmo Pundo incident, where they say that no, that was AI content, and because of that, President Brian Mundui actually had to believe that it was AI content, but no, it wasn't AI content. It was actually the actual video. So false information in Zambia, it's now getting it's now like a common practice. A lot of people are spreading a lot of false information. Yeah.
So one has to be very careful what they are listening to or what they watch on social media.
One advice I would actually advise the viewers is to rely on reliable sources, social media, that where you not reliable sources but reliable pages, verified pages where you get proper information, right? When you just see a Facebook page with a lot of followers, they can tembache, those things, those pages, no, we don't need to follow those pages because they'll mislead you with a lot of false information, right? So you have to follow pages like Kalemba, Prime TV, Diamond TV, ZMBC, especially ZMBC. Those are the only pages, verified pages in social media that you can actually find reliable information, right? So I would encourage a lot of viewers and Zambians out there not to rely on those pages where you just say, this person has got a lot of followers, I feel like he's influential, let me follow him. Or just because the person is in opposition, right? They spread a lot of false information. And I feel like the opposition, especially the Tonsi Alliance, should also look at that. They should fight against that because they're actually damaging the reputation of the opposition. Because I don't feel like the opposition are involved in forcing, actually involved in, participating in releasing false information. They actually receive those false information and take it as a reliable source, right? So, that's my comment.
Especially if it is working to your advantage. You see what I'm saying? If it's working to you. Hi, Simon. Mr. Simon. Okay, we'll be winding up this today's broadcast. How are you? You settled down. You settled down. How are things? So, Simon, I'm gonna watch that Peter when you were driving or you jumped. What did you observe? What's going on? What's the atmosphere?
So, hello. Do you mind if you can repeat that question?
I said from the last time you were here, where you have passed through, whether it's driving or you were by bus, what did you observe? What observations did you make? What's the mood in the country?
Okay, if I go to you, I think the network is breaking a bit on my side. But are you talking about the observations I made as I was coming towards this direction?
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so yes, so what basically was happening is that we don't even have the queues. If it's with regards to queues, I think people have voted and they've casted their vote. I think life has been made much more easier, I think, for people to cast their votes. But I must comment that the turnout was very, very amusing. The people were prepared to go and cast their vote, and they were very committed to doing so. I vote for Munali constituency, specifically Vera Chilwa Primary School. That is my polling station, and there, I think the turnout was very nice. It was good. So you could see how the long queue was, because imagine I went there around 7 and I only managed to vote around 15. That is when
yeah, that's a long wait.
You can imagine. Yeah, that's a long wait. Exactly. But I've received some information that on the southern and western part of the country, the voter turnout is not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have not gone to vote.
Okay. All right. We shall conclude this for today. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Hope you guys would have gotten over this voting day fever of euphoria. And we'll be in a place, and the network will probably would have settled down a little bit where we are able to. Let's get your final word, Simon, Joseph, Muhambi, before we close for today.
Thanks for joining. It's been exciting. We appreciate all of you taking time out of your day to share your experiences, especially as a fellow young person. It's always great to see other young people excited about civics and public service, because I think that's important.
All right, Joseph.
Well, I have nothing much to say, but what I can just say is I just wish all the best for the two major candidates, President Hakainde Hichilema and my senior most counsel, Mr. Brian Mundulu. So I just wish them all the best. In the end of the day, whoever wins, we just need to accept them as our president of the Republic of Zambia. And I'll just encourage a lot of our Zambians there that even in the next elections, we need to vote for people. We need to vote for candidates who would actually, provide better policies for our country. And also, let's also look at the, more systematic aspect of, looking at their manifestos and looking at their backgrounds as well, because backgrounds matters as well. We need to look at their education qualification. We need to look what they did, in the recent past, politic-wise, and also personal lives as well. So, yeah, that's my last comment on that. Otherwise, all the best. But the person who I'm just looking forward to see winning is Brian Mundulu. I want to see HH to be the opposition side again.
Okay. Simon, your final comment? Simon, your final comment? You can't hear me.
The network is a bit bad on my side, so perhaps if you can repeat the question.
Okay, it's fine. Let's all get here tomorrow, same time, and we'll do thank you, guys. We'll do this tomorrow again, and so that when everybody has settled from the election euphoria, maybe we can have a more what do you call it? A sober conversation. I know there's been a lot of traveling around the city and everything else. So thanks, Muhambi. We'll catch up tomorrow. Everybody join us at the same time as we give you the updates. We'll continue doing this every day until the results are announced. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, ZBTR TV. We are also on Facebook, so that when we go live, you'll get a notification that you've gone live. All right. The polls will be closing in 10 minutes in Zambia. They're still voting. 10 minutes. Have a wonderful day.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.